Hello and welcome to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. I'm your host, Francy Hall. Today is Monday, November 23rd, and on today's show, we're going to be visiting with Mayor Tom Kuntz. We're going to update about the city of Owatonna, and then we took a visit to the Brookdale Senior Living Solutions. We're talking with them about optimal living. So stay with us. After a word from our sponsors, we'll be back with Mayor Tom Kuntz.
Hi, I'm Jody Voisin with the staff at Fairview Animal Medical Center, your other family doctor. Fairview Animal Medical Center is a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
The majority of fatal home fires happen at night when people are sleeping. Smoke alarms give you time to escape. We recommend that you have a smoke alarm in every sleeping room of the house and on every floor in the common living areas. Smoke alarms should be tested monthly, and batteries should be replaced at least once a year. This is a safety tip from the Owatonna Fire Department.
Hello, I'm David Einhaus with the Owatonna Foundation. Thank you to all of our donors who have helped make Owatonna a better place to live. Will you join us today with a financial gift? Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hello, we are back and we're joined now by Mayor Tom Kuntz. Hello, Mayor.
It's always a pleasure to be on. Thank you for having us.
We are so happy to have you here and get an update because it's been a little while since we visited with you. And I know there's a lot going on. So
there is just a ton of stuff going on. And what I'll do is I'll recap the last 3 council minutes.
Okay.
And then we'll go into some other things that are very, very important coming up this winter.
Okay.
We've completed our study sessions for the budget, and we will have final approval on our budget in December. We anticipate a 4% levy increase, which would amount to $10 or $12 per year on each residential house that's valued at $150,000. So that will be presented in the December meetings, and if you have any questions or concerns, please attend those meetings. Council meetings are always the first and the third Tuesday of every month, and they're at 7 p.m. in the council chambers, and it's open to the public, so you're more than welcome to attend.
All right.
We always have part of that council agenda is a consent agenda. And if you have something going on like a wine tasting, or you want to have a pavilion, or if you want to have a street closure or something like that, please contact the city and get a permit for that. Jeanette Clausen is there, and she will give you all the answers and the ins and outs. Do you need a permit? Don't you need a permit and everything?
So if we have a question whether we need a permit, because I guess I never really knew that we would have to seek
Just call Jeanette
permission.
Clausen, and get permission to do that.
All right, good
And
to
that
know.
always goes on our consent agendas, and we approve all those. Building permits. On the October 20th, we had a variance request for a front deck at 147 Barney Street. And the reason I bring that up is that the council looked at that one very, very hard because the deck had already been installed, and then he asked for the variance afterwards. And the council had a very hard time granting that and made an exception on this one only. The gentleman thought that when he got a building permit for the back deck, it covered the front deck too. And so he already went ahead and put the front deck on, but it was like a foot out of variance or out of whatever it's supposed to be. So the best thing to do is if you're going to have a building project go on, call the building inspection department, see if you need a permit, and explain to them what's going on, and they'll tell you yes or no. Because once the project's been completed and then you apply for the permit, city council is going to look at those very, very tough, and you may have to change it or tear it off or do something different. So best thing to do is if you have a project going on, call the building inspection department.
Okay, will do.
The Northgate 2 apartment site is the new one that's being built up by the bank and the blast, and it's affordable living. It's going to have 36 units and everything. But some of the soil was contaminated when they first started taking a look at that. So we had to have a special meeting on the 27th in order to have a grant application put in for deed. Deed will help offset some of the cost on that excavation of the site that we had to dispose of. So that was approved.
Okay. What was the contamination?
I think OTC was there, or one of those was there. So there was some contamination that, and I don't know what the kind of contamination was, but it was contaminated and had to be removed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And on the meeting for November 2nd, we had Troy and Lisa Johnson ask for annexation of their property into the city limits. This is the second one I remember in this fall already. And the reason a lot of people do that, if they live outside the city limits and they have to change their sewer system or put a septic tank or stuff in, sometimes it's easier to try and get annexed in and connect to the city services than it is to rebuild your septic system. So that one was approved. And I know you're going to be doing a study session, a session on it, but the holiday train stop is going to be on December 6th. And I know Mike Johnson has got great plans for that one. That will be out by Truth Tool again. They will have some fire pits and some food collection and everything. So we're looking forward to that one.
So fun, so fun.
And, you know, here it is, the 23rd, and we're already into the winter parking ordinances.
Yes.
And so that starts on November 15th and runs through the 31st. And the best thing to do is if...
31st of March?
For 31st of March, yes ma'am, yep. And the best thing to do is if you're going to bed at midnight, looking forward, is if it's an odd day that day, looking forward to the next day, that's where you're supposed to park, is on the odd side. If it's an even day, park on the even side. So it's not the night you're going to bed, it's the day that's looking forward to do that.
Okay.
Some other projects, a lot of people have asked about the hole in the building behind Napa over there, and that's a completely kids' building. It's got that big gaping hole into it, and it just looks like an eyesore. They will start work on that very, very soon. So hopefully this winter that will be repaired and look a lot better. We're working with the bank that currently owns the Arnold House. They've had a couple restaurant people come into town and take a look at it to see if it can be reconditioned or if it needs to be tore down. So hopefully that would make a perfect rooftop restaurant location.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yes. So we're working with the bank that's out of the metropolitan area to do some improvements on the Arnold House.
Okay. I like the plug you put in there. Somebody, if you want to start a rooftop restaurant, it sounds like we would like one here at the Arnold House.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? And then also Bubba's Bar, the city purchased Bubba's Bar, and the reason they purchased it was that the roof was in such shape that you can look on the main floor and look down, and it was water and being deteriorated. And it's still a good building, but it needs to have a roof on it. And the county put it up for auction, and nobody took it on the auction, so the city stepped forward and we'll have a roof put on it yet this fall to save the building. And we have had some interest, people interested, once the roof is on, to take ownership of that building. And if you have any interest in it, please call Troy at the city at 774-7316.
Okay.
And Troy would be very happy to work with you and show you what's available and work out some details.
And Mayor Kuntz, that building houses some other businesses too, right? Is that why you took over, decided to, obviously not let it fall into disrepair?
We didn't want it to be a domino effect that if Bubba's Bar's roof stayed open for this winter, that whole building would probably have to be destroyed and tore down. And so then you've got the wall that is supporting for the pool hall and the next one. And are those supporting walls, how would that work? So we just felt it better to purchase the building, get it fixed up, and then have somebody come in and take ownership of it.
Sounds good.
And if everybody looks on J.C. Park, there is a new pavilion being built down on J.C. Park, and it's done by the Park and Rec Department, and it's been really done with the association, the Ballpark Association and those people, so that should be ready for the 2016 summer season. And J.C. Park and Raymond Trulson Field now is really, really becoming used a lot. And so that will be a great addition to that location.
One more fabulous park. It's been a park, but it was just such good park system.
Exactly,
here. Yes.
Exactly. And one of the things that the mayor and the city council and even Leanne has got a complaint about is the noise of the street sweeper at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Music to our ears. I think it's 2 and 3 in the morning at our place.
Exactly. And street sweeping, we do a heavy sweeping in the spring and the fall when they have all the leaves in the street. And believe it or not, there's 160 miles of streets to sweep in Owatonna. So it does take some time. So we try to keep that thing going most of the time. We have not had 7 to 11 shift in the evening. That is looking at maybe bringing that back. But if you're, please be patient with us. You know, the noise is upsetting at 3 o'clock in the morning when it goes by because it's very, very loud. But we're doing the best use of our personnel and our manpower to get that done. And so please be patient with us when you hear that come by. If your street hasn't been swept yet, or you're concerned about it never gets swept, just give a call to 774-7308, and they will make sure that your street does get swept. What now? They're monitoring with GPS on the street sweepers, so they can count where the street sweeper's been, and so it doesn't do one street multiple times. It tries to cover the whole city. Brookdale Golf course is closed for the season. And on the 27th, they will have what's called a Black Friday blowout. So there's some golf stuff that's available and on sale. And they also have a breakfast there for $5. So if you want to have any interest in the breakfast or going down and seeing what's on sale, please go down there.
Day after Thanksgiving.
November 27th.
All right.
And that's at 6 a.m. to noon.
Okay.
And the deer hunt is in progress. The last count that I heard way back a couple weeks ago, I think it was 8 deer total. They're hunting 8 parks. The deer season closes on December 20th. It's a week longer than we had last year. And last year there were 22 deer taken. So this year they're thinking there will be maybe a few more, seeing it's a week longer. Mm-hmm. This month is Winter Awareness Month. Have a survival kit in your car. Also make sure your CO detector works. You know, the Owatonna Utilities is offering a $25 rebate on furnace checks and everything. So it's a good time to take care of that to make sure you don't have a cracked heat exchanger or something like that. Mm-hmm. The other thing is I've had some people ask about what's going up on the Bridge Street, on the end of Bridge Street, across from our substation. And Southern Minnesota Municipal Power Agency is building a building that's going to have, I think, 4 CAT generators in it. So they'll be able to generate 32 megawatts of electricity at the local level, and they'll use it for peaking and that type of stuff. So
okay, so it's a power bill.
It's a power utility.
It's
tied
a
to the
powerhouse.
Utilities. There you go.
There we go.
That's a good way to say it. Powerhouse, yes. So there's a lot of things going on.
A lot going on. And one more time, if people want to call about Bubba's.
Call Troy at 774-7316. And if you have a problem with the street sweeper, if your street's not getting done, call 774-7308.
Okay, thank you so much for being here, taking your time out of your busy day, Mayor Kuntz. We appreciate you.
It's always a pleasure to be here. Owatonna's a great city, so it's always rewarding to be able to share everything that's going on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, thank you for being with us, and stay with us. After a word from our sponsors, we're going to take a tour. Well, actually, we're going to visit with Brookdale Senior Living Solutions.
United Way is all about
changing lives,
reaching out a hand,
advancing the common good,
creating opportunities,
inspiring hope,
navigating obstacles.
Please join us and all Napa Distribution Center employees by giving generously, advocating for a better quality of life, and volunteering your time. We all win when we
live united.
Hi, my name is Dave Efforts with TPS Insurance. We're here to handle all your insurance needs. We are a very proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
I didn't just want another job, I wanted a career, so I expressed myself.
I was new to town and I didn't know where to turn for a job, so I decided to express myself.
I decided to express myself, and they helped find the right career for me.
Express Employment Professionals is in contact with thousands of companies in need of quality employees. Come in now and get the job you deserve.
Express yourself today.
I'm Bill Owens with the Owatonna Business Incubator. Whether your business is just starting out or is expanding, we have the office space and manufacturing space that you need. As the Small Business Counseling Center for this region, we are able to help you in your expansion or your startup of your business. We are a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. Leanne and I are here at Brookdale, Owatonna. We're going to be visiting with Deb Gillard and with Melissa Block. You know, seniors are such an important and vital part of our community, and we're going to be talking with them today about optimal life here at Brookdale. So first, let's say hello to Deb. Hi, Deb.
Hi, Francie. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's good to have you on the show again.
Thank you very much. And I'll take this opportunity to kind of give a little bit of what we're talking about, and then I'm going to turn the reins over to Melissa Block. Melissa is our resident program coordinator, which is a nice title that says she oversees all of the activities, all of the, what you refer to, optimum life, at both of our care communities here, our assisted living and our Alzheimer's and dementia care. And just so our viewers remember, we did a name change, Brookdale Owatonna, this past summer. Nothing about us has changed, no ownership, no care. All the signature programs that we provide are still in place, but people may remember us as Sterling House and Clarebridge, and we may still remember us that way for a while, but we are officially now known as Brookdale Owatonna Assisted Living and Brookdale Owatonna Alzheimer's and Dementia Care. So just wanted to remind people of that if they're trying to kind of connect in their heads where we are and who we are. It's very important for us to make sure that our seniors, as you said, continue quality of life, and along those lines, that's where Melissa really comes in and supports what Brookdale says is optimum life at this time in our residents' lives.
Well, wonderful. And so we will talk with Melissa about that. And you know, what we talked about just beforehand with Deb was that this is the next chapter of life, right? And that chapter can be very fulfilling. Mm-hmm. And so let's talk about what that looks like here at Brookdale. What are your signature programs? What is optimal living?
Well, all of our signature programs, we have like our Brookdale Buffet. So every morning after breakfast, we start with Brookdale Buffet, where it's kind of, it's not a overzealous, strenuous fitness program, but it is keeping them moving, using all their joints, breathing, focusing on themselves, and just trying to maintain, that healthy living. And
quick question about that. How do you determine what is optimal for each individual resident in terms of that program particularly?
Well, we kind of, we offer it to everybody, and we highly encourage and kind of push a little bit. It's like, we want to continue to keep you strong. It helps yourself and your independence, and also, and the caregivers.
All right. Well, what's the next topic?
We also have monthly health chats with our nurses. We always have a different topic each month. They come and visit with the residents and talk about that topic, anywhere from, foot care to diabetes to heart healthy, breast cancer, all that kind of stuff. We also do many outings. We love to go out and about, anywhere from, and we ask them, during our resident council meetings, what is it that you guys want to go do? I'm like, don't leave it up to me. I want to fulfill what you guys want to do.
What is a resident counseling meeting?
Well, it's kind of a monthly meeting where we gather and they, give suggestions, concerns, anywhere from meals to, outings, programming that we're doing here in the building or outside of the building. If they have any maintenance issues or anything like that, just kind of, they all can come together and give their voice together.
So residents have just ongoing say as to what's going on with them and here and engaging in that?
Yes, we try to fulfill all of those needs and wants that they have.
All right, and so you find out what those needs and wants are. You can't fulfill them unless you know them, right? Okay.
That's right, yep. Like we had ladies that you know what, we want to go shopping at the Pink Pantry. All right, I would never have thought of that. So,
have you been to the Pink Pantry?
It's end of the month.
Really neat.
Oh, I love the store.
Yeah.
Love the store. But so at the end of the month, we're taking a shopping trip to the Pink Pantry. It's all about them and what they want to do.
Sure, great. It's not prescribed to them; it comes from them, and then you fulfill that. Yep. All right, I like it.
Some of our other signature programs, we have something that's called Brookdale Celebrates. This past year, we did World Cuisines. So part of that, intellectual part of the 6 dimensions, we fulfill it with the Brookdale Celebrates, and we've been learning about different countries, and I become a great pastry chef of different countries per se, because I find a dessert and I make it from that country. I mean,
you do. You actually are the pastry chef in this situation.
In this situation, yes, or a dessert. So, so that way they're getting, that taste of that country. Learning about their culture and,
you can discover so much through food
yes.
about a country, and then that just opens the dialogue, doesn't it?
Yep, and so next year, we're kind of excited. We're going to Broadway musicals, so we're going to learn about that. That was just announced the other day, so that's kind of interesting and fun. So, get to learn a lot. So
what are you doing with Broadway musicals?
Each month we'll have a different Broadway musical that we'll focus on, and hopefully I'll be able to, find them at the library, the musicals, and kind of learn about the history, the people who first, performed in that musical, and the background behind it. So it should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, maybe even outings to some of the musicals that were on Broadway that are local in town and things like that.
Possibly.
Cool.
And some of our other signature programs that we have specifically over for our memory care would be our refresh program. So right before meals, we have personalized hand claws, and we soak them in hot water and like essential oils like lemongrass. That kind of helps invigorate the smells and senses. So that way, they're getting that fresh touch beforehand, sensory before they eat, and kind of helps increase eating and their appetite.
Well, and memory, smell is such a huge piece of memory, so that's really interesting.
Yep. We also have like our life skills. We encourage residents to participate in say we have, from finding out in their life history form that they grew up in a restaurant. So you can say, Francie, it's time to set for, dinner rush. Can you help us? And encourage them to help us with our work, kind of, but more in a purposeful way, to help fold laundry or to help, sweep, outside, fill the bird feeders, that kind of thing.
So just to follow up on that, you're saying that you actually engage with them and talk with them about their life history and try to incorporate that into their living here.
Yes, we go back to, hopefully we know, or the families even know more what they did in their childhood, adolescence, and then adulthood, and then what they're currently doing now or are interested in now. Because as the dementia progresses, they revert backwards, and those are the kinds of memories that they really can be engaged in more. And so we take great pride in really kind of digging deep in knowing our individuals and our residents and bringing what they can do, making them feel purposeful and engaged.
Connecting with those memories that, as they progress in dementia, are further back.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, and our solace program. So sometimes when residents, towards the end of life or maybe aren't getting a whole lot out of our large group activities, we do more of a one-on-one with them. So whether it's bringing one or two of those residents together and, reading chicken soup stories together, giving hand massages, back rubs, doing, some motor skills with them, more on a one-on-one basis. And
I like that you talked about the touch component of it, the hand massages or back rubs, and is that's something that you're intentional about, is providing touch?
Yep, very much so. It helps connect and make them, they can still feel.
Right. So these are some of the signature programs, and this is optimal life, is what we're talking about, right?
We try to hit on emotional, intellectual, physical, purposeful, social, and spiritual.
And it sounds like you're doing it in a very personal way to them.
Yes.
Is there anything else Deb, that you want to add to about that?
The thing that I would add is that Melissa is wonderful in her position. She has done this for so many years, and she has a great love for our assisted living and our memory care residents. And there is not a thing, and I think I say this with absolute truth and confidence, there's not a thing that she doesn't think people can do. So she'll plan fishing trips, and out they go with a group of people from our memory care on fishing trips, and they are loving it. Some of these individuals have not been fishing forever, and here they are out fishing again and catching a fish, and she has wonderful volunteers. Yes, at 97, wonderful volunteers, I know, including your parents, who come along and they have a fish fry. Those are the things you can't replicate, and I think Melissa is just she's so valuable to us. I can't even explain it. So I really want people to come in and get to know her and get to know Brookdale.
She's some of the optimal and the optimal living, right? Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Melissa and Deb, for letting us come and visit here at Brookdale, Owatonna. Thank you for visiting with us. Stay with us after a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Hi, Warren Abraham, Abraham Consulting Technologies, your one-stop technology shop. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress.
Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you.
Owatonna Public Utilities.
Welcome back. Well, we're your community connection, and so we're going to give you your community announcements. The Salvation Army is looking for bell ringers to sign up and ring those bells for the holiday kettles. You can call the bell ringer hotline if you're interested in volunteering at 507-413-6700. The Autism Spectrum Disorder Parent Support Group will be meeting next tomorrow, November 24th, 6 o'clock to 7:30 at Associated Church, which is at 800 Havana Road. If you have any questions, call 451-9769. The 7th Annual Turkey Trot to benefit Iris is on November 26th, Thanksgiving morning. So that's Thanksgiving morning at Faribault Middle School. And that starts, I think it's, check-in is 7 o'clock. It's a 5K walk, 5K and 10K run, gobble wobble and tot trot also. So if you would like to attend that or you have any questions about it, call 507-334-4748. And again, that is to benefit infants remembered in silence. On November 28th, that's the Saturday, 7 p.m. is the Give Hope Community Concert. That is at Owatonna Senior High School Auditorium, and that is to benefit the Steele County Transitional Housing. November 28th, 7 p.m. at the high school. Free will donation admission. On December 6th, Star of Hope lighting ceremony with the Owatonna Hospice, December 6th, 5 p.m. Well, we thank you for joining us. We'd like you to come back and join us again on Wednesday, where we will be talking about Toys for Tots and the Salvation Army bell ringing and the programs that supports. Join us then.